Hey guys, this is Crispy.
And this is Bread, and we're going to take a look at Darkest Dungeon, but we're going to shut up and let the intro go.
Ruin has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity. Until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
He gives a better intro than I ever thought I could. This little intro thing basically says that this game is tough and when you die it's permanent, but if I try to read it, it'll go away before I can finish reading it. So, let me be the first to say that we love anything Lovecraftian, and that is what this is. It's very Lovecraftian in its feel. Like, I love the idea of fighting against something that is beyond your comprehension, but forces you to fight it, or it's going to end everything. Like, I like that idea. But let's jump into it. So we're going to start a new one because we tried this before, but for some reason it didn't record. Yes, delete the save. We're going to do Darkest, which is the normal difficulty. I wanted to name it Crispy Bread, but that's okay. We'll roll with it.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
With the stagecoach destroyed and the caretaker gone, you find that you will have to make the journey to the hamlet on foot. So, to move forward, click on another room that will take you to the connecting hallway. This is a roguelike game where essentially it's a dungeon diving game. So, in a dungeon, you'll click on a hallway, a room connected to you by an adjacent hallway. You move through the hallway to the room. Each of these squares indicates something that you may encounter. And then you also may encounter something in the room. Once you find your way to the manor, you'll take different quests to do different things. But we will go ahead and jump into it. We'll make Dismas the active character.
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just ahead.
I absolutely love the commentary in this game.
Yeah, the commentary is what sets it up for you. Like, and there's not many games I've played that do that have a commentator. It's one of the reasons that I like Dungeons and Dragons Online so much, is because they had DM text that was read to you. Now, the reason that I have selected Dismas as the active character instead of him, even though he's in the front, the active character is who encounters things. He has the most trap resistance, so if we encounter a trap, he's got the best chance of not eating it.
So I guess I'll take Renald.
Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion.
Yes, you
that
can
all
be the
may
paladin
hear
and
of
I
your
can be the
arrival.
rogue. That kind of fits us. So it decides who goes first based on the speed. Protection is a flat percentage damage reduction. Dodge is a flat chance to just straight out dodge the attack. Damage is self-explanatory. Crit's pretty self-explanatory. Accuracy modifier. If your accuracy's up, it directly takes away from their dodge chance. Now, this is a game that's all about placement. I can't use that ability because there's only one enemy, but there's 4 places. He is in the front slot, so that can't target him. It only targets the back 3. Same thing with tracking shot. So I can melee him, or I can shoot him with a shotgun blast. If you see connected dots, it affects all people in those spots. If you see unconnected dots, you can attack one individually in those spots. And the yellow ones are where he can be to perform that action. Open his vein.
Oh, gonna attack me.
You're gonna get shanked.
Yep.
You're gonna bleed too.
Smite him.
Yeah, Reynald's all about smiting
Press
evil.
disadvantage. Give them no quarter.
And then you take the loot from them. Gold greases palms, builds empires, and instigates murder. This is a curio. These are interactables within the dungeon. This is in one of those hallway squares. So when you click on a curio, you can activate it or ignore it. If certain ones will have items that you can drag here, and it guarantees a success, like a locked chest and a key, for example.
A fortune, waiting to be spent.
And as you noticed right before Brett
Leave nothing
opened...
unchecked. There is much to be found in forgotten places.
You done, guy? Okay, go ahead.
As you noticed before Brad opened that tent, the thing that popped up over the rogue's head, that was stress.
Yes. Stress is that. That is... If you've ever played tabletop games like Call of Cthulhu, it's very similar to Sanity, except it's less permanent. At 100 stress, they have a breaking point. They either rise to the occasion and they get an amazing buff, or they break. When they break, they get a debuff. It'll be like hopeless, or masochistic, or vindictive, and it makes them... If it's a negative one, it'll make them do things without your control, or you'll go to heal them and they'll refuse to be healed. They'll move in different slots in the party, things of that nature, and the good one will make them do positive things.
But if you watch long enough, you'll see us get those.
Yeah, or if you play it long enough, somebody will break. It just happens. At 200 at 100 they break it. 200 stress, they have a heart attack and die. Or they can die. They don't necessarily die. So right now we don't have any torches, but up here represents how much torchlight you have. As it goes down, monsters have a higher dodge chance. They're harder to surprise. They'll surprise you. If you let it get dark, you actually have an increased chance to find loot, but it becomes much harder. As you saw, the torch just went down a level.
An ambush.
So our stress is
Send
up.
these vermin a
And we
message.
surprised them.
The rightful owner
we got
has
lucky
returned,
enough to surprise.
and their kind is no longer welcome.
So what I just did was a buff ability that increases my damage, accuracy, and crit chance.
How much? Yeah, let's just smite him.
This big fat guy takes up 2 slots. That's why he's got such a big thing underneath him. So, like, she has an attack that hits the first 2 slots, but it doesn't hit this guy because he occupies 2.
And I missed. Ow. Owie. That was mean.
Party order is a big thing in this game. Like, that really just screwed me.
Impressive.
It doesn't really affect the fighter much being in the second slot, but it definitely affects me being in the first slot.
Owie. Yeah, smite him again.
Smite.
Let's get rid of the big guy.
You might die.
Yes, I might.
That'd be crazy to do in the tutorial. It's a roll of the dice.
We dodged.
And the debuffs stack. Every time you see that bleed, it stacks. So it was 2, I believe, and now it's 4. Smite.
Yes, let's get rid of him.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Now his body will still occupy those 2 slots until we destroy it, but the bleed effect will stay on it. I'm going to go ahead and try to destroy the corpse unsuccessfully. And then once the corpse is gone, it'll force him to occupy the first slot. I guess we gotta
smite.
Yeah, we gotta smite the corpse.
Now he's up here. Now I can reach him. Quit attacking me.
Destroyed. Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
A sapphire blue like strangled dreams.
God.
So my recommendation, anytime that you finish the quest, you can continue adventuring and continue to search rooms. In the tutorial, do not open this chest. If the name doesn't say it to you, let me tell you, do not open this chest. It is a red herring. I've never opened it and had a success.
And we've played this game a lot.
I can't say that it doesn't sometimes succeed, but I've never opened it and not been poisoned or bled. Victory on the old road. Let's see if we get any quirks. We both got quirks. Yay. Resolve is your experience. And I believe the higher your resolve is, the less stress you take.
What is that?
So, quirks are things that you can remove at the sanitarium once you unlock them. Basically, you send them in there and they beat the weakness or the stupid out of them. So, Dud Hitter is minus 3% crit chance if HP is below 50%. Eldritch Slayer is a good one. Plus 10% accuracy versus Eldritch and 3% for crit. Eldritch is a type of creature. Fear of Beasts.
Oh my.
And Balanced. I will definitely get rid of Fear of Beasts. And they usually start with some too. Anytime that you get new adventurers, they're going to have one or two good and 1 or 2 bad.
Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
Great, so we just inherited a mansion and a keep that's haunted, but it's definitely a fixer-upper. Wait until you see me close this window.
Gee, thanks to our ancestor, huh? Alrighty.
Alright, so this is what we have unlocked currently. We don't have the Abbey, the Sanitarium, the Bar, the Survivalist, the Guild, or the Blacksmith. We have the Memoirs, the Graveyard, and the Stagecoach.
Now the memoirs is where you...
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Okay. This is where you can go and replay any of the cutscenes that you've unlocked.
Because, like, once you fight, there are different bosses, and it tells more of the story. But I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm going to wait until we do it.
Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
He's not wrong.
No, not.
Every person that dies, you can read their name, their level here, and I think what killed them.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
Personally, I think it's mostly fools and corpses, but that's just me. You always get a plague doctor and a vestal, which is a cleric, the first time through. So you can right-click on them, and so it's not so pertinent right now, but later you'll have multiple people to pick from, and you can right-click on them and see what is good and bad about them and what abilities they have, so that see if you want them or not. While you can change their abilities and fix their negative quirks, that costs money. And, you know, if it's not worth it to you, you pick somebody that's better for the job. Minus 10% disease resistance on a plague doctor? Sickly doctors don't live long.
No, they don't.
And tuckered out. Minus 10% damage of HP below 50%. Now, that's not a huge deal. Minus 20% stress in Warrens. Plus 10% scouting chance in Warrens. Scouting is essentially, sometimes in that dungeon on the map, it'll glow with a yellow, and it'll tell you what are in rooms ahead of you. So we've got to take you...
What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
And she likes the third slot the most. That's where all of her, if it's completely golden, all of their abilities can be used there. And the front slot the least. Zoophobia, plus 20 stress versus Beast. Wield Tactician, extra damage in the wield.
Okay.
She's got Mace Bash, Judgment, Divine Grace, and Divine Comfort.
Okay.
She will never use that Mace Bash.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
So, in the dungeons, you're going to loot crests, deeds, portraits, and busts. You use those to upgrade different things. Like, we always go ahead and upgrade the Stagecoach
Great heroes
network.
can be found even here, in the mud and rain.
And the hero barracks. The barracks increases your roster. This increases how many people you have to pick from each week when you return.
Okay.
So we have our 4.
A mecca of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
So this is where you pick your party. In this case, we don't have a whole lot to pick from, but we'll put him in the her in the third slot, and her in the fourth slot. And certain lineups give you a title. This is the quest we have. It's short, so you don't camp in the dungeon. Explore 90% of the rooms. This is the rewards. 4 crests, 3,000 gold, and a dodge stone.
Okay. So I guess I'll play Renaud and the Plague Doctor.
And I'll take the rogue and the cleric. What negative quirks did they have? Okay, so he got Dud Hitter, but he started with Kleptomania and God-Fearing. So God-Fearing means he will only pray for stress relief. Later, as we unlock the other buildings, when they're stressed and you have to relieve their stress, you send them to drink, gamble, or go to the brothel, pray, flagellate, or meditate. He will only pray. He's also a kleptomaniac, which doesn't really fit with God-Fearing, but whatever. He does extra damage if the torch is above 75, and he got that before.
You know, I've noticed on Renaud, almost every time we've ever played, he has had kleptomania.
I think that's what they start with. I don't think it rolls for it. and he starts with known cheat. He's not allowed to gamble. That's not so bad. When they will only do one thing, that's kind of bad. When they're excluded from one thing, it's not bad unless they have the quirk that tells them that they have to do that one thing.
So,
and let us provision.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
So, when you go into the dungeon, you buy provisions, torches, food, shovels, things of that nature. You get, I think it's like 10% of their value back if you don't use them. So if you over-prepare, it costs you money. If you under-prepare, you die. So I recommend erring on the side of over-prepare slightly. Torches give you light. Food plays more of a part when you have to camp, but randomly it'll tell you you're hungry. If you don't have food to eat, it hurts you and your stress goes up.
and you can use the food to heal.
Shovels help you. So there are certain things, like I said, you encounter. Shovels clear blockways. Keys open chests. That cures poison, cures bleeding, and prevents disease. I think that's good for the first go.
I do too.
We will embark our first expedition into the ruins of your ancestry. Be curious, be careful. Let's try not to die. So it hints at these two being the heir of this place, but it doesn't matter if they die. If you get the game from Steam, there's an achievement for having them be in the final fight. But other than that, their death has no effect on the game that I've noticed. We'll take that torch.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
And randomly you just get stressed as you walk through the dungeon. I guess because it's not a nice place to be.
A decisive pummeling.
Popped a cap in his ass.
What is that?
It's a blight.
Do it. On that one that you hit.
So he's pretty much dead. He's going to go down from that. Judgment. I judge you unworthy.
Zealous accusation, because it'll hit both.
Continue
All right,
the
Ghost Rider.
onslaught. Destroy them all.
The reason I'm not using a key is it says unlocked. Sometimes the names are literal on this. It would just waste the key.
Wealth beyond measure. Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
Okay.
And then you select the new room that you want to go to, and you go down the hallway.
On we go.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
And we use the shovel, and it's gone. Otherwise, it hurts you, and it affects the torchlight. That's gonna push me. Yep.
Light her in the back. Oh, I can't.
Can't reach her with that.
Yeah, do incision on the first one.
Judgment. So that buff attack that he does can only be used once per fight, but it lasts the whole fight.
Do zealous accusation, hit them both.
No. I think Reynald just carries a naughty list, and he's like, "You're on it." Of course. Incise him.
No, blot the second one. Let's stack up on that.
Oh, well, he's pretty much dead then.
Yep.
Confidence
Boom.
surges as the enemy crumbles.
Ow. Ow.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Smite.
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
Green, like molten envy. I didn't know envy could be...
Switch the order real quick and put...
Yeah, that's
As
probably
the
a good
light
idea.
gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
And there's nothing in this room.
See, that's scouting.
Let's go to the treasure room.
Okay.
So, curio, trap, nothing, treasure. That's what kleptomania does.
We gotta get that fixed.
Yes, that's where we want to be.
Alright. Blight the one in the back.
We attack her because she raises stress.
Smite the one in front.
Smite the brawler.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
I don't feel like there's a whole lot of slow and gentle stuff that we do, but okay.
No, I don't think so either.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Let's blight that skeleton, shall we? Smite.
Executed with impunity.
Ooh, eldritch killing incense. I guess Cthulhu doesn't like incense very much. All right. And we carry on. So because we're aware that that trap is there, it'll actually show up and give us the option to disarm it.
The light, the promise of safety.
Okay. Keep on.
Damn it! Look, guy.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles.
You're cramping my
Paid
style.
for in blood.
We need to get that fixed as soon as possible.
That was a hunger thing that popped up. I should have showed it to you before I clicked it. Good thing we brought shovels.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Oh.
That guy's another stress builder.
Ooh.
Why are they punishing
Ow.
the plague doctor?
Yeah, let's stun that guy.
It hits them both. Boom.
Yeah. Okay.
How you blind a skeleton? They don't have any eyes.
Good question.
Dodge.
Awesome.
Called it.
Smite the front guy.
Smite.
As
Boom.
the fiend falls,
faint hope blossoms.
Let's build up some blight on that archer.
Smite him?
Yes. He'll be dead.
Ow!
A death by inches.
Don't matter if it's by an inch or by a mile.
Use incision on them. They're dead.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless. Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Victory!
Wow, we got a lot of stuff.
Yeah. We actually made some money on that venture.
Uh-oh.
Let's see what quirks they get. Obsessed with killing? I don't guess that's so bad, really.
No.
Ruins Tactician.
That's nice.
More accuracy and crit versus humans. Will never drink.
That's
I can live
fine.
with that. Plus 5 accuracy.
That's awesome.
Wasn't too bad.
Nope.
We just found out that the stealing paladin likes to
The
kill.
poor caretaker. I fear his long-standing duties here have affected him.
Yeah, that's the caretaker, by the way. Okay. So, we've unlocked the Abbey and the Tavern. They're stress relief buildings. I'll show you those. We'll go ahead and recruit our new adventurers, and then I think that'll be all the time
The cobwebs
we
have been dusted, the pews set straight. The Abbey calls to the faithful. Fresh kegs, cards, and curtained rooms promise solace to the weary and broken alike.
Now, you will notice that the caretaker is always de-stressing somewhere.
Yeah, he's always taking up a slot.
Ooh.
Okay. So we have Roger the Highwayman, Aslan the Abomination, and Polly the Houndmaster. Thin-blooded, blight resist debuff. No, I don't want you. You're obsessed with food. That's a bad day in a dungeon.
Yes, it is.
We might take him, but I'll probably fire him later. Minus 5% damage. A werewolf with minus 5% damage. But he's good at killing beasts. And the Houndmaster. Plus 20% stress in the Warrens. Plus 5% virtue chance.
That ain't too bad.
I want the Houndmaster.
A lawman and his faithful beast. A bond forged by battle and bloodshed.
I say we take the abomination.
We'll take them all. We just fire them later if we don't want them.
Yeah,
Tortured
sure.
and reclusive, this man is more dangerous than he seems.
So, when you take the abomination, be aware, Reynald, or any crusader and any cleric will not adventure with him.
Elusive, evasive, persistent. Righteous traits for a rogue.
Because, like, I'll show you just real fast. See? I will not serve with this creature. And he said, those who have faith have no love for me. But it's a fine time to call it, guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Have fun, guys.